I mean, are there other things to talk about?
I think there are. I can't even explain to you and then how it works with the dashi butter. You were in Cuba and it looked unbelievable.
It's action time. Welcome to Off the Cuff with Galavante. I'm your host, Christine Drinan, and next to me is my better half, my co-host,
Regina and DeCicco. But you have to stop with this better half.
Look at you. You're like totally rocking this shirt.
Oh, I tried. I wanted to bring a little pop of color in. A little pop of color in today.
I love this.
Thank you.
You're looking good.
Oh, well, listen. You get a little tan, and then I feel like I go crazy. I'm like, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Everyone, look at Regina.
Yeah, look at me. I've gotten some sun. I want everybody to know about it.
Well, in all seriousness, though, I am saying my better half because we've been doing this podcast now for about 6 months.
Yes.
And some people are really good at everything. And not only is Regina the funniest person I know.
Too sweet.
It's true. And I don't give compliments like this. But Regina also is a foodie expert.
Yes.
And
I mean, you hate to say expert, but then sometimes you talk to other people and you're like, oh, I see where I've become a snob, maybe a little bit. But you want to think I'm not that person, and you think, oh, maybe a little bit.
Well, I mean, you should be proud of what you do. So I need restaurants in New York City.
Okay.
For this month because I'm hungry.
You're hungry.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry.
And there's no seamless for me. I want to go out.
You want to go out.
Yes.
Have you ever been to Tomi on East 5th?
No.
Okay, so it's Tuome. Okay, so it's this. I had a feeling you haven't been there. It's like contemporary American cuisine, but it has like an Asian influence. It's really it's wild, and it's one of those places. They have these like snow crab noodles with dashi butter, and it is a dish you will have, Christine, and then you're going to dream about having it again.
Oh my God! Say that again. Snow crab noodles.
Yes, with dashi butter.
Like, so it's noodle with snow crab in it, or what?
Yeah, I can't even explain to you, and then how it works with the dashi butter. It's just like a dish that you're like, oh my gosh, like how did you put this together? And I need more of it in my life.
That just sounds incredible. Okay, by the way, guys, I've not had lunch yet today.
Oh no, you should have prefaced with that, and then maybe I would have picked a different topic.
Which is why all I want to do is eat right now. Like, what else did you eat there?
They do a lot of like, there's Wagyu beef, there's always like deviled eggs. They're always mixing it up, but it's just like everything is incredible. It's like flavors you think you know. Like you'll read a description and be like, oh, I know what this piggy thing is that you're talking about. This like sort of pork dish, and then you eat it. You're like, wait, what did you just do? Like, how did you just blow my mind? So it's like flavors you know, but you're going to get wowed by them.
Is this a chef that came from another restaurant?
I want to say yes. No, I think it is. It's Chef Thomas Chen. And it's like definitely like Michelin recognized. I can't remember if they have a star. And it's not like a super fancy place. I think make a reservation, of course. But it's one of those places you just go and you're like, oh, I'm totally comfortable. I love what I'm eating. The wine program is amazing. The cocktails are great. And you're like, wait, it's always like, I feel like a go-to. I'm always like, who wants to go to East 5th? Anybody? Like, who wants to head back downtown?
Well, this must be a good restaurant because, Regina, we live on the Upper West Side.
Yes.
We live in the
Yes.
geriatric ward.
Yeah, we do.
Where it is the place where restaurant dreams come to die in general. I hate to be that person, but I've lived here as you have.
No, we've had this conversation.
Decades.
We keep hoping the other one knows a hidden gem right next door that we haven't heard about, and that's yet not really the case.
I mean, so we will obviously go anywhere
Yes.
for food as long as it's not our own neighborhood.
Right.
Though I'm being really mean. There are some.
No, we do
places
eat in this
we have,
neighborhood.
yeah.
We shouldn't say
do.
that. But there are times when you're like, I want a treat, and I will travel for it. And I would
this
say
place
this is like,
sounds like it's
Tomi
worth
is one
it.
of those places. I highly suggest you go, or we should go together.
Oh,
Yes.
like you just had me at like crab noodles.
No, I say that on purpose.
butter.
Like everything is unbelievable, and I feel like even as their menu rotates, the snow crab noodles, it's always on the menu. Like they've never changed that.
Oh my word, I'm so hungry right
Yes. No, you've got to go. We're gonna end this episode earlier.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're taking
heading
off.
downtown.
Who cares where else you're going? But no, where else are you going?
Okay, so this is kind of, I know we don't usually talk about cocktail bars,
Ooh.
but my husband and I went the other day. I went to Attaboy. And if Attaboy, it's on Eldridge. Do you know? And here's the thing that I feel like it's important to talk about because there's no menu, but there's also, you cannot make reservations.
Oh wait.
So
How does
Attaboy
that
is where
work then?
you have to wait outside, and I get it. This is off-putting. You get to a certain age and you're like, I don't want to be in a line. This doesn't make sense. But I will tell you that it is worth it. So they open at 5, no reservations. One day my husband and I went. We waited online. And you go inside, and then we were seated, and the bartender, John, was amazing. And they ask, like, what you're in the mood for. So it's sort of like, I want gin, or then maybe you're like, I want something tropical. You describe what you're interested in. Sort of like the flavors, the vibe, maybe you pick the spirit, and then they create a cocktail. And the thing is, these bartenders are so professional. Mixologists, I don't even know how you want to refer to them. They just know everything. And they'll sort of consult with each other and be like, oh, I was thinking of doing this. I wrote down the names of the drinks that I had. One was called a Too Soon, which you probably never heard of. Another one was called Away Colors. Who's heard of that? The last one, Unicorn's Blood. Because I literally said, you have to tell me what these cocktails are. Because the thing is, they're coming up with things that, like, as a normal, you just don't know about these cocktail combinations. But they listen to what you want, what you're interested in. And you can even say, at one point, my husband and I, and once we were in there, they do not kick you out. It's sort of like, no, enjoy this experience. And then we said, we want to do something with a lower, like, ABV to stay in the game. And he's like, perfect, I got you. So
okay.
It's an amazing experience.
So, do they have food too? Like,
there's
or do
no
you just
food.
get completely sauced?
You get completely
drinks?
sauced on drinks. But the great part was, like I said, we took a break with another cocktail, but it was a lower alcohol by volume cocktail. And then the thing is, there's no challenge that's too great. I don't know if you've ever had a Ramos Gin Fizz. This is like a drink that was invented in New Orleans. It's very labor intensive. Like, you have to shake it for a long time. It sort of rises, it rests, it rises again. Like Ramos Gin Fizz.
Okay.
Ramos. You have to, like, look it up. And I had one in New Orleans, and it's amazing. But supposedly, when you ask bartenders for it, it's like so frowned upon because it's so labor intensive that most places either will not make it or they just flat out, they just don't do it. So we were at this Attaboy place, and I said to my husband, I kind of want to ask about it, but I'm nervous. And, because I was like, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want the bartender to be mad. But I asked about it, and he was like, that is one of my favorite drinks to make. And he made my husband and I each a variation on this cocktail. And so it's wild. Like, it's just an amazing place to go and experience drinks that you can't get everywhere, or that they won't do everywhere even more.
And
even
where's Attaboy located?
Oh, it's on Eldridge. I think it's like on Eldridge Street. It's also downtown. But I'm saying, don't, and also, like I said, no menu, so you don't know any prices until the bill comes.
Okay,
which is
it a little shocking?
It wasn't so bad. Most of our drinks were like $22 each, which for that kind of experience, I feel like wasn't crazy, but you don't know. And then like John, he like drew the receipt, basically. Like he like made a really cute, it's just like a very fun, interactive experience where the people around you, like everyone loves cocktails.
How many seats are in this place?
Oh, there are not a lot of... It's really funny. So, because my husband is like an engineer, and he was sort of like, by code, like, I don't think there's like enough space behind the bar and over here. And the bartender was like, who sent you?
Yeah.
And I was like, John, be cool. They literally made a tiny alleyway work. Like, John was trying to figure out. We're like, don't do that. Because it's almost like they're ballerinas, like getting past each other. I mean, there's not a lot of room, but it's very tiny.
For me, this Attaboy place and Tuomi, right?
Yeah.
Those two places sound like the whole reason why New York City is cool.
Yes. I would agree with what you're saying. It's a place that, like, I don't know where you'd find it anywhere else. And these are just places that people have known about. I mean, an Attaboy from the outside, completely unassuming. Like, you probably wouldn't even realize that it was there. But then you see the line starts to form. Like, it opens at 5, and we went, like, maybe 4:30. And then there was already, like, one guy just sort of, like, reading a book, like, in line. And I thought, that's not a bad way to, like, wait in line,
That's
and then
a good idea.
Yeah. And then friends met him after, so it was smart. They sent the one person in advance. And then we did it. But it was, to your point, it was a very New York night. It felt like, those are two very New York experiences.
You and John go to the best places.
But
those are both making my list.
Yes! Oh, I love that. Well, that means now I need to know what's on your list. Christine, where have you been going?
Speaking of places that are just effortlessly cool, and the reason why New York is what it is, I have to say that we have some of the best French restaurants here in New York. And both of my places that I really have liked recently are in the West Village.
Oh.
So the first place is a place called Libertine. And you try to get a reservation, it's near impossible, but
there we go.
the reservation gods must have been shining down upon me. But I walked in at 7:30 on a Saturday night, and was very nice, obviously, because I'm just kind of nice to people in general, and we got a table. So obviously they had a cancellation,
right,
and right place, right time.
Yes.
And Libertine is this cozy little French place. It's like off Greenwich Street in the West Village. It has like this really cool blue. The whole outside of it is like windows, and it's painted blue, and so it really stands out in the neighborhood. I'm like, why don't more people paint their exterior
make everything
color?
blue?
Yeah, because it's so unique for New York, especially with like the outside of it. But there's a guy, Cody Pruitt. He is the owner. He came over from a wine bar down the street, and he started this restaurant with this very talented chef. To give you an idea, a couple things that make this really interesting. One is that their wine list is all natural.
Okay.
So
that seems to be so, I don't want to say so hot right now, but I'm going to say so hot right now.
It is very in vogue to do like the natural wine
right.
list. And I'm generally not
a
natural
me too.
wine fan, but somehow this guy Cody Pruitt got wine that works.
Okay.
Even for people who are not into natural wine.
And maybe it's changing. Maybe we're getting better natural wines, but
they do cool stuff. And like even their gin and their vodka, it's not just regular vodka or regular gin. It's like stuff I'd never even heard of. And
that's
so
exciting. They're
doing cocktails and things like, I mean, it's not like Attaboy where that's their bread and butter.
Right, of course.
And speaking of butter, you walk into Libertine, they have a butter tower in the kitchen because the kitchen's open. You can actually see it from the tables. Literally, there's a butter tower. It's totally outrageous.
This was the best butter segue I've ever heard.
That wasn't planned.
Butter.
That just
Speaking
happened.
of butter, you had me. I'm almost speechless for the rest of the episode because that was brilliant.
I mean, I don't want to spoil Libertine, but go try to get a reservation or just pray someone lets you in. But like I had this incredible lobster farci. It was a dish that I really had never had before. It's a chilled dish. It's like lobster like wrapped up in this like outer shell, and it's just beautifully prepared. It's like so French it hurts. So, and then I had the scallops and seaweed butter. The menu changes. It's obviously going to be different every time you go, which is also
great. Yes. I feel like very French. Right.
Yeah.
We're going to give you what we should be giving you right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then the other place I had that I really liked, it's called Justine's on Hudson, and it's a wine bar.
Okay. Right.
But unlike Attaboy, it serves food,
which is nice.
That is actually very good.
Oh, that's very nice.
I will say that some people are saying the food is just as good or better than the wine, even though it's a wine bar. I'll tell you two things. One, it's the former chef of Moss, which is that beautiful like little farmhouse restaurant that was in the village like eons ago. And so the food is very good. But I will say that I think the wine really outshines the food. And the reason why I still think the food is good enough, because sometimes you just want to go out, you want to have exactly what you want to have. You want to have a good piece of fish, you want to have a, easy this. The food there, I know they're saying is really inventive. I'm still kind of scratching my head because I just don't get where all these reviews are coming from other places. To me, the food is a place, I would go there just for a normal meal on any given night, but their superpower, in my humble opinion, is wine. And there are a couple of things that really differentiate this place from other restaurants. It is a hustle to run a restaurant in New York.
Yes.
It is expensive. You make no money. It's just crazy. And it's just hard. I mean, but this family, the guy's a very well-known wine guy in the city, and they're clearly doing this for the love of the game.
That's amazing.
Like this restaurant, I doubt pays their Upper East Side mortgage. They are people who are just so into hospitality, like you and your family, because your family's a restaurant family too. You just want people to have a good time.
Right.
Like you guys are so passionate about food and just your craft.
I mean, you do have to make profit, but yes, which is the point. It has to come from the passion. It has to start with the passion. And for I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm like, we need to go to this wine bar then.
Yeah, it's for the love of the game that these guys are doing this, and everyone there, like. It's not like someone who went to Swiss hotel school who's like robotically giving you all of the right things that they want to say. It's like real people who are trying their hardest to be hospitable and to welcome you and to have you have a good time. And the owner, Neil, comes to every table. He named Justine's after his daughter, who is an LA filmmaker, and he wants her to come back home. Justine, go back home. Your dad misses you. He named this restaurant after you.
He's telling every table.
Yeah, he's telling every table about you. Like, you sound very cool. But they do Burgundy white wine by the glass. And so a place that will do Burgundies by the glass is a place that's not in it to just and they don't guard you on the prices either. Like, everything there is so very well selected on the wine list. If you have people who are big wine aficionados, they will not at all be offended if you take them to Justine's.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Look at this. Now we've got 4 places on this list. I've got 2 new ones. You've got 2 new ones.
I mean, I'm going to go to yours.
Right.
Like,
we're
yours
going to we're going to Attaboy. I mean, listen. We've got everything now.
Yeah. We got it all going on.
All right, well, listen, I hope you've all added to your list because it's very important you do. Christine and we're putting in all the work. I hope you appreciate how hard Christine and I, by eating and drinking our way through this city.
I will eat and drink my way through the city with you any day. You pick the restaurant, I'm in.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, well, good. This is why we meet. This is why we do. This is why you come to Off the Cuff, because we need you to know everything. Yeah. I love it.
Well, thanks, guys, for joining us on this episode of Off the Cuff with Galavante. We will see you in the next destination or the next restaurant.
Yes.
Around the world.